Alright, time for another drawing stream. Doggo Draws. This time we're doing a picture of classic me. Of my Charmeleon self, which I was before I found my true identity as a Shadox. This is actually one of the oldest things in the folder of art I'd like to color. This was drawn a very long time ago, hence why I'm in my old form. By Flame, old friend of mine. Here we have myself absolutely stuffed to the brim with meals, with more than just my stomach filled, given, I would say, given the breadth of where the bulges cover here. This is a fully packed digestive tract, after all, as I titled it. Anyhow, let's go ahead and start drawing after absolutely no technical difficulties slowed us down. Vintage Charm. It's a simple picture, but I rather like it. Also, I kind of wanted a laid-back project today. Something that wasn't super complicated. Admittedly, though, if I, with the shade on this, it's, yes, that's some complex bulge shading, but there's probably a way to kind of slap it together, I suppose you could say. In a way that looks good, mind you, just, there's a few tricks and shortcuts one can use in situations like this. Vintage Charm. I do have a new Charmeleon for him. Haven't really used it though. Gotten a couple pictures, but not really gotten too expressed yet. It occurs to me. Yeah, sure, why not? I have to admit, next Sunday? Yeah, Charmeleon Ducks. Ducks Million. I have to admit, though, next Sunday, I might not do an art stream next Sunday. You guys may have noticed that since I got done with all the Pokemon stuff I was doing, I switched off to doing a bunch of art since then. Doing art streams back-to-back for a while. And there's nothing wrong with that. But I have to admit, I don't always feel like doing art every single week. So I might dial it back next week. Plus, I have to say, I was looking through my collab folder. I've kind of already done all the pictures I was super excited about. There's still a lot of stuff I can color. But I've either done all the stuff, I've done, more specifically, I've done all the stuff I was super excited about that is clean enough for a stream on Twitch and YouTube. I do have some stuff in there that might be good for an alternative website, Picardo likely. But as far as safe for work stuff, I'm kind of running out of content. There's one more picture that I'm really excited about doing. I mean, there's one more picture I might consider, but I have to bounce it off my staff to get their opinion. It would be another AV picture, and it would be a little bit more explicit than the last one. Not anything sexual, mind you, but definitely a little bit more, what's the word? Obvious, I suppose? Though I'm surprised at just how well the other AV picture that we did last week turned out on YouTube. Nobody really cared. That was surprising. I mean, it would have been nice if some people did care. Didn't really get that many comments. Got decent views, I suppose, but as far as negative attention goes, it didn't really have that. Nobody really minded it. They were just like, okay. Cast my opinion anytime. Of course, Selena. Well, it's the picture in question that I'm talking about. I can at least describe it for now. The one I'm considering. It's of my Shadox self. It's of my Shag self with a big old fat tum that I'm resting on top of. The viewpoint is behind me, and my big old butt is showing. No specific detail showing, it's just some big old buttocks, basically. And Aragon is half wedged between them, basically. in his Charmander self form, because that was before he changed to Riolu. Expressions and mood of picture wise, I'm facing away, but I have my head raised of a little huff, which could be interpreted in multiple ways, I suppose. While Aragon just looks kind of like, wee, because he's going feet first. So, the nice thing about, like, buttocks is that they do a nice job, like, they could do a nice job doing a casual censorship of an AV situation. That is to say, instead of seeing some very specific details, a rump can hide that stuff, you know, just because it's big and fat. And basically keeps things covered up. Which makes stuff like that definitely more tame. It's actually my preferred way of seeing AV, I'd say. I mean, I don't mind it the more detailed way, but just seeing somebody just swoosh between some cheeks without anything really showing is kind of cute, honestly. It's very soft. I like that. As both a vorophile and a fratfurt, just prefer the swoosh. An artist could do a whole lot of censorship. I'm actually practicing that point with the barb fighter and other fighter genre content that I'm doing edited videos for, that I'm almost done editing at this point. Those videos are all about Vore, all about the character you play as getting eaten by creatures, and there is indeed AV in full tour, and fortunately, later iterations of the barb fighter games, Helix Fire specifically, have some pretty high detail creatures, in the sense that they're just made of more shapes and stuff, and so they have proper butts a lot of times. So there's several situations where I didn't actually have to censor anything, because whatever was entering or leaving a butt was doing so amongst a bunch of, well, fat buttocks action going on. So there was nothing actually showing, meaning that it was effectively censoring itself. Very convenient. Saved me a little bit of editing time. Frat fur, you go to college parties and get drunk, and then eat everyone, then get fat because of it. Because drunkenness makes me absolutely even more greedy than normal. But, yeah. So there's a topic that a lot of people probably never ever talk about, but the aspect of AV work being safe for work is something I've been introducing lately, if you haven't noticed, as a concept. I'm happy to see that people have been receptive to this. And a great deal of that is because of buttocks. Let's be honest. Like, that is a large part of why it works, in my opinion. Touch that up a bit. There we go. Oh, epic. Yeah, it didn't really affect audience numbers, seriously speaking. It would appear that when I discuss the AV stuff, people are generally just like, huh, rather than anything else. I mean, yeah, we got a few trolls on that last art stream, but they didn't do much. So I don't know, I might up the ante a little bit. This other picture I was talking about, the one I was debating, is basically as far as I would go with the subject matter for public content. Because I have my own limitations. Most of the trolls came very late for some reason. Also, this is for Pokemon Conquest. Never played that one. I came after someone else's stream ended. I mean, wait, who then? That's a mysterious statement in a way. It's kind of weird to be using these classic Charmeleon colors. I haven't used these in a long time. Not gonna lie, I'm not into Vore, but your art style is great, so I'm gonna stay. Oh, thank you, Pitero. I'm by and large a collab artist, so the styles I'm working on can actually change from stream to stream. That being said, I feel I am I'm confident enough in my own line art. Actually, that is another thing. Another thing I could draw is my own art. Because I can do my own art, I just prefer collabs. It's more fun, relaxing. Actually, hold on. That raises a thought. Also, thank you for the follow. Yeah, here we go. Look at my my own art folder. That was something I was working on, right? Wait, which one's the latest file? What did I say? 3 versions of this. I'm very confusing. So wait, 12.11, 12.11. I guess that's the latest version? Oh, I see. I gave myself a little mock-up. So there was this project I never finished. Let's load it for a sec. Right, I doodled some like really quick shit to remind myself what I was doing with it. But basically I was working on Mega Pony. That was gonna be a fattening sequence. Why Mega Pony? Because why not? It was supposed to be like, all right, gonna put you on the charge platform, recharge, and then like goes to lunch and leaves it for too long, and then he gets fat because of the overcharging him. Basically, that was kind of the idea, anyways. I never finished it. Basically, the idea was to draw like this nice scene for the first part, and just draw Mega Pony sitting there. And then the idea was to do that thing that some artists do, where they take the same scene, the same pose, and then they redraw some of the lines to add it onto it, and basically just make it fatter and fatter. That was the idea. So for those wondering, that was all original work I did. So I was thinking doing something like that. Never finished that one because I don't like line work. I mean, I could do it, but I can't say I terribly enjoy it. It's sort of it's kind of a low reward part of the art. Like, lines are important, you need the lines, but pictures only really pop when color is added to them, in my opinion. A pure line work picture without color is still a good picture, but once you add color to it, it just makes it so much better, in my opinion. Reminds me of that Flame of that game where there was unique characters getting fat in unique ways. I don't remember what you're talking about. Oh, that one, yeah. Oh, yeah. the more inflation-focused game that was very inventive. Yeah, I mean, I like unorthodox methods of fattening. I mean, I saw a series where a Jolteon fattened thanks to lightning striking him. A Flareon fattened for being around because he was around to heat too much, and a Glaceon fattened by being too near the air conditioner. So, you know. Same element fattening as I'm using. Oh, and a Vaporeon fattened by being out in the rain. There's a bunch of stuff. I've done drawings where I've tried to add color would ruin the effect because that's how the sketchwork turned out. You mean because the sketch is too messy for comfortable coloring, basically? I actually have managed to color anything put in front of me so far. Some stuff was harder than other, but I still did it. That means even messy sketches I can color. Oh, it's the end of Fates. I can't talk about that poke roll thing. Like in your previous video, you had a lot of sketchy lines, added a lot of depth. Yeah, remember how I kind of cleaned up some of the sketchy lines? I didn't have to, by the way, I just wanted to. But I actually left some of them alone because they did add depth. So I am able to discern, like, because sometimes an artist's sketch style, there's been situations where I see a particular artist, I look at their sketch work and I see plenty of life and energy in that sketch work, and then I look at their line work and I'm like, this is less lively. I prefer your sketch work. Your sketch work expressed yourself better. If I ever commission artists like that, I always make sure I'd like just a sketch commission because I like your sketches better. Like, not to say their line work is ever bad. It's just there's a certain energy and freeness to their sketch lines that is lacking in their line work. That actually happens quite a bit. Quite a few artists have that problem, I think, where they don't have that same looseness and life to their lines when it comes to trying to do proper line art. You never know. Everybody has different styles, so this doesn't apply to everyone. But it does apply sometimes, I think. Do you guys think I should go back to that Mega Pony picture? I'm kind of surprised I didn't use Rush there. I kind of like Rush more, but, you know, Mega Pony's still pretty good. I think I went with the MLP idea because MLP is a very approachable art style. That's why there's so much MLP fan art. It's simply put an art style that anyone can hop into, I would say. I did want to finally complete a fattening sequence. I've never done that before. Also, whenever I hear this song, I don't even think Christmas. I think the first big boss of Dynamite Heady. Because the song played during the first big boss fight of Dynamite Heady, and that's apparently the first place Caleb ever heard that song, so that's what I associate. I just see that stupid fucking balloon dog trying to hurt you and land on you when I hear this song. Dummy thick lines. That does, I mean, if you use dummy thick lines, it makes it easier to color. Is that right, Key? What's wrong? Hmm. I do approve of the last statement. Thick thighs save lives. Thick lines save lives. Thick line thighs save a lot of lives. Alright, Key. Maybe I'll read that later. Try not to self-hate, though, whatever happened. It just isn't good. Also, I don't get something. It's only when I stream. For some reason. But thick thighs don't often save lines. I mean, they take up a lot of lane work, so yeah. Especially if they're particularly plush and soft, require more lines, as we see squished lines and you know, little fatty wrinkles as where the thighs press against the belly, or you know, stuff like that. Not speaking from experience or anything. But yeah, there's one thing I'm really confused about. It's only when I stream, and I don't know what causes it. But sometimes I just need to mute and blow my nose because I have a slight cold or something. And the weird thing is, I don't know why, but I never have this issue when I'm not streaming. Does talking cause me to have a cold? I don't quite get it. It doesn't happen every time I stream, mind you. It's just only happens when I stream, it feels like. It's not even like a proper cold where I feel like sick or something. It's just like occasionally I need to blow my nose and I don't know why. It's like, why is that even a thing? I'm not sick. Why do I have to do this? Virtual cold syndrome, huh? One of you is making me sick. Sure. I'm aware jaw moves can think. I mean, granted, if I'm yammering a whole bunch, I suppose I am moving around the oral and nasal passages a fair bit. I suppose that could be doing it. I guess that's fine. Fortunately, I have an endless supply of napkins at my desk, so. You've always been an epidemic when it comes to puns. Oh god, I didn't even notice the pun of that word. God damn it. An epidemic. That's such a weird combination of words to hear. It's like, hey, everybody's getting sick, but it's totally rad! Epic! It's like, what? I wonder if this project will take the whole stream. We're probably going to go a bit late. Regardless, I mean... I say regardless because I did start late, so... I like to make it up I like to make up for late starts by late ends. Just what I do. So the question is, I don't know. I could go over to the Mega Pony picture if I have time. I could. What was actually? Wait. I need to take a hard look at what I done there. Okay, so Mega Pony's done. I finished line working basic Mega Pony. I just got, and okay, so really I was just working on the background for part 1. That was it. Like, I just need to put together a background. And then I could start doing the thing where I make a part 2, copy the scene, edit it, make a part 3, copy the scene, edit it, etc. You can I like the canvas size I chose for this. Do you notice how much extra space there is between the top of the screen and Mega Pony? As well as sideways, too, a little bit. I like how the canvas size itself... You actually find this sometimes with fattening sequences. Sometimes you're like, oh, this character is very small on this picture. And you're always like, oh, this is a fattening sequence. And if you know that, you're like, oh, okay, I understand why the character is small. Because they're going to fill the space by the end. Yeah, I guess I was planning to make them fairly big. I just apparently hadn't finished the background, so... Epic, I'm ignoring you. How about a good song? Give me a good song. Wait, is that a good song? I mean, it's not bad. Oh yeah, this one, I remember where this is from. This one has a weird atmosphere. Alright, Pop. Oh, I say color edge. That would make more sense if it was. There. I've got a good line art sense. I can, like, notice little mistakes that are really subtle. It's just, I don't know, when I do my own lines, I feel like I have an easier time, like, improving others' lines than I do improving my own lines. I don't know, though. It's I think it's just a matter of... I think I realize what my issue with line work is when I do my own, is that sometimes I get stuck on a line and I can't figure out how to make it look good. I think I figured out the solution for that issue. The solution for that issue is just leaving a line not looking that great, and then coming back to it later. When I have more lines down, that'll help me guide the rest of the lines. Basically, if I can't make a line look good, then I should just keep going, and then I should go back to it later. I think that's the best trick. I think I actually apply. I think I give this trick to. I think I'll advise this trick to anyone. Actually, anybody who's trying to get into drawing and having trouble with it. If you can't make a line look good, just leave it how it is. Leave it however you've done it, and go back to it later. Just don't worry about it right off the bat. Make your lines look the best you can. And if they don't look good, come back to them later. It's very easy to get stuck on an early line and just not figure out how it should look. But once you add more lines around it, that'll help you with the perspective and stuff, I feel. And then at that point, you're like, oh, okay, and then you understand what you're doing. This is advice I've never heard an artist share. Like, sometimes I get advice from artists, or sometimes people ask, you know, artists for advice and they give advice. I've never heard anybody advise this. I've never heard an artist advise this, so I feel like it might be something of a breakthrough I figured out. If you can't, like, because I think a lot of artists don't have this issue, or at least they do it automatically without thinking. I think a lot of, for instance, if you're doing sketch work, The idea of sketch work, some of us can't really sketch. I'm not really good at sketching. I can't really sketch. The idea of sketching is to lay down a bunch of loose lines without any real quality control, just to get an idea of where you want your actual lines. So the sketch lines are just there to be a big mess to help you guide actual lines and figure out where you want your actual lines. Some of us can't sketch, though, and some of us don't have the ability to just lay down shit and figure out from there. But what I recommend for those people that can't sketch, because there are those of us out there that really just can't manage a decent sketch, when you're placing your line work, just if you can't quite figure out where a line goes or you're not quite satisfied with a line, just let it go. Leave it however you've put it. Move on to another section of the picture. Work your way back to it. Say for instance, if you're drawing a line for a left arm, right? And that left arm line isn't looking quite good. Well, don't worry. Just move on to the right arm and work on to that from that to the body, the main body, and then move back to the left arm eventually. Once you have more stuff connected to that left arm put down, and then you can probably figure out how those lines should look. In other words, add more lines for yourself so you can better understand your own perspective. I guess it's kind of like, that advice is almost always told but never acknowledged. I don't think I've ever heard anybody advise me, if you can't figure out a line, skip and go to another area of the picture. Come back to it later. But that is honestly, I think, the thing I've learned best for myself. Because I have OCD as well, so if something doesn't look perfect, I get really frustrated. So line work is a frustrating experience because of that OCD. But if I practice that more, where I'm like, oh, this doesn't look quite right, I wonder what's wrong with it. And then if I realize that I'm spending more than, like, I don't know, 5 minutes on it, that one particular line, then I should be moving on to something else, and I should ignore it. Because, best case scenario, you move on, you do the rest of the line work, you come back later and you're like, oh, it actually looks fine now. Best case scenario, you don't have to make any more changes, it actually was good enough. Worst case scenario, you do still need to make changes, but now all the other lines around it are making it way more obvious what you should be doing with it. I don't agree with that definition of sketch entirely. My sketches are very accurate. See, that's the thing. Some people do some very accurate sketches, and that's fine too. Where it's like, the lines are all placed perfectly right. They're just a little bit messy, you know? Yeah. But yeah, I agree. Honestly, the way people advise me to sketch, like the way I've always been advised, like, well, you need to learn how to sketch, Charm, and here's how you should try to practice sketching. It's like, do you want to see my sketch attempts? I think I got them saved here somewhere. Hold on. Alright, yeah, here. This was me attempting to sketch, this fella. Admittedly, I did end up finding something I wanted. But, like, I don't know, man. I don't think the sketches around the main picture really helped me that much. I guess this one kind of helped. This one kind of helped, this one up here. But, like, I think my sketch work is kind of, like, what is it? I don't know. It's not really traditional sketch work, because I don't think I really know what I'm doing. Why does the bottom right have an Easter egg on its head? Balancing act. But basically, I don't feel like those sketches were terribly helpful. They gave me a few ideas, I suppose, but... But you see, some people are like, oh, I know anatomy really well, and I can actually draw, like, perspective circles and create an actual skeleton in the sketching. It's like, good for you. That actually looks like that could be useful, but I can't do that. Sketching just feels wrong. Doing really loose lines just feels wrong. I'm kind of a very precise sort of person when I draw. I mean, you may notice that with just how I color. I don't miss... I mean, like, there's a disadvantage to being precise. If you overdo it, the OCD and stuff, it can slow you down. But I'm sure you've noticed my precision. I don't... Like, I don't leave little mistakes. I make very clean work. And that's honestly not a bad thing. It's just that clean work. I do need to allow myself to, well, maybe be a little more messy occasionally for the sake of, well, speed. Because what's the point of a really precise picture if you never finish it? The thing is, though, I've redirected my precision to different areas. I'm precise with my coloring lines, but when I do shading, I actually go to a more imprecise methodology. My shading is not as precise as my coloring, and that's actually a good thing, in my opinion. It works well for my shading style, I think. Yeah, perfectionism is just another way of saying focusing on one thing too long and not finishing, or taking way too long to finish something. Perfectionism just slows you down. You overdo it. The idea of an artist is you shouldn't make a perfect picture. That's not a good goal. It really isn't. For one, it's kind of a pipe dream to make a perfect picture, but two, as an artist, you're most likely going to be like, okay, for instance, right now, what I'm even doing is probably unnecessary. You may notice if you pay attention, there's a few spots here where the cream color bleeds into the arm. But if I were to go to 100% view, almost, like, it is still noticeable if you pay attention, but it's very hard to tell. This is technically saying one could avoid. But it is still visible occasionally, so I'm gonna still work on it. But if a mistake or a detail is literally invisible, if you go to 100% view, aka the normal resolution for the picture there, maybe we'll be looking at it at. If you can't see your mistakes at 100%, then you shouldn't mess with them. Because the best artists leave a lot of mistakes in their pictures, actually. It's just they're not mistakes that matter. They're not mistakes that detract for the picture. That's why it's so effective to leave them. It saves time, energy. I mean, it's sad though, because like I mean, maybe I should do more line work, because it'd be nice to get better at it. I mean, I have this leery sort of, like, I'll never be fast at artwork. I am kind of slow, let's be honest. But a large part of that is, like, part of me just goes, like, oh, wow. Maybe I shouldn't have had that color background on. Part of me is, like, thinking that I'll never be even decently paced at line work. But then again, I used to tell myself I could never learn shading, and that I proved myself wrong on that. I very much did learn shading. I still don't quite understand shading, mind you. You may not think that looking at my shading work, but I don't quite completely understand light perspective still. I just kind of put stuff where it looks good. I kind of got a feel down for it. But that's actually how I've always been with creative projects, whether it's writing or music or art. It's less about academics, less about like a lesson I took out of learning here and there about how to do something. It's less about that and way more about just feeling what I'm doing creatively. I'm not a book learner when it comes to creative projects. I'm very much I experience this and I just know how it feels right and when it doesn't feel right. Thinking of tips for how to help you with sketching, maybe try to focus on the pose. What the character be doing? The character's design, and adapt the character design to pose you might interrupt. It might be useful for the Mega Pony picture if I continue it. Like, figure out the pose for each fattening part would be actually pretty handy. Because I want him to be moving around and reacting as he gets fatter. Also, it'd be my first... I have done fat pictures before, but it'd be my first fattening sequence, so that would be interesting. I probably should go back to that picture, though. It had a promising start. I just need to keep going on it. Create a nice little scene, so... And there's always people out there for MLP art. Mega Pony, by the way, comes from an actual Mega Man fan game that Brony's made. So, it's a good game. Played it. Actually, I think me playing the game on stream or something was what inspired me to start working on that. Oh, Miitopia music. Anybody remember that game? Every time I hear this particular song, I think to myself, this is an evil Pokemon team in a Pokemon game. This is their theme. I don't know, this song just makes me think I am fighting an evil team. Especially this part. Well, not this part. There's a particular part that sounds so Pokemon that I cannot ignore it. Oh no, it's Team Vocaloid. This part right here. Like, that is a Pokemon riff right there. That melody right there. Yeah, it's Team Vocaloid. Hakuna Mitsu is the admin, is the leader of the team. Yeah. I don't know. You ever just want to design your own evil Pokemon team? It's kind of fun. I don't recall the name of it, but I recall this one Pokemon team that was like a cult, kinda. Not like Grimdark, a stupid cult, like a Grimdark kind of rendition, but like... I was thinking of like a group led by this weird masked individual that was always cloaked and stuff, you could never tell his identity. And it just turns out at the end of the game he's actually a Pokemon. That'd actually be a cool twist, wouldn't it? Because there's intelligent Pokemon. Slowking, Mewtwo. Very intelligent Pokemon that could probably run that, probably do that. The evil team's goal that I come up with is that they want to turn everyone into Pokemon. It was basically that, like, we need to shed our pathetic forms and become the ultimate creatures. Basically, Pokemon being, it's not even that much of a leap in logic, with how literally every NPC rants and raves about Pokemon in Pokemon games. Can you imagine a bunch of fanatics being like, humans are boring, we need to become Pokemon? And then making a cult about it? Like, that would be perfect for an evil team, actually, in my opinion. Especially if it's led by a Pokemon. They probably have the ulterior motive of getting rid of humans so that he can, well, be the superior life form, I guess. Because, like it or not, as powerful as Pokemon are... Actually, I'm going to play more Miitopia music. Like it or not... I turned off Shuffle. Like it or not, as powerful as Pokemon are, humans are still the dominant species. In the Pokemon world. And perhaps the Pokemon didn't like that, and then got a bunch of people a little too enamored with the idea of becoming a better form to instigate such an idea. This would be a really... I'm just giving somebody a freebie if they want to make a Pokemon fan game. A Zoroark... Actually, a Zoroark would be a pretty good pick for, like, the leader. Also, it'd be really interesting to see how, like... How the guy... How the leader... Whatever Pokemon it is, it'd be interesting to finally fight him. Because, like... You'd see he's actually an asshole, not just to humans, but to Pokemon too, because he would actually have his own Pokemon. I mean, nobody's saying a Pokemon can't throw a Pokeball and release their own Pokemon. There's nothing saying a Pokemon can't do that. They probably have to be a bit careful of empty Pokeballs, but that's about it. Well, it's not quite Black and White, because Black and White is PETA. Black and White is PETA. What I'm talking about is a transformation cult. That's different. Or kind of an ascension cult, actually. And then imagine this evil team, like, took Bill hostage. Because remember, if you recall, Bill from Gen 1 knows how to turn people into Pokemon, if you recall. That is a canonical fact. See, the concept I'm introducing to this cult is not even that far-fetched. Or should I say far-fetched? Because Bill already did it. 8-touch a cult of my luck. Well, they wouldn't actually be called a culting game if that was the case, because that's not family-friendly enough. But they'd be cultish. Let's be honest, Black and White kind of was a cult too. Getsus looked like a cult leader, I mean. Everything I'm presenting could technically be done with vanilla Pokemon. Everything from a sentient Pokemon to a Pokemon theoretically having his own Pokemon to the idea of a transformation threat. This is all stuff that Ken has already established as, yes, this could happen. Yeah, I'm just saying they wouldn't be called a cult because of ESRB. That's all. One of those cases of it's all in the semantics. Mewtwo, that's true. Mewtwo did command his own Pokemon. Never mind, even that's in canon. Good point. He even made his own Pokeballs. Yeah, I don't know. I would think it'd be a really interesting twist if, like, you fought the evil team leader, right? And they're this, you know, actually, here, guys, I've established an idea. What's the name of this imaginary team we've come up with? What would be the name of this team I've come up with? I need to figure out a team name. I never did figure out a team name. Yeah, every team needs a... Oh, obviously every team needs a name. Evil team needs a name. And obviously, yeah, they would be a team. I mean, that's just the tradition. Team Rise, Team Change. I feel like Team Change is too on the nose. I like Team Rise. That's not bad, actually. That works off the Ascension idea. It's not a bad. That's not bad. It's a simple word, but yeah, Team Rise would actually be good. Focal? What's that word mean? I've heard that word before, but I forget its meaning. And actually, now I think about it, if we want to count out-of-game official media, Detective Pikachu was also a movie that focused around transformation, so... I mean, body swapping, but still. Merged? Fair enough. Still a form of transformation in my eyes. You're making a human a Pokemon, whether through merge or not, is still a fact. A human that got evil team leader is a human that got sent back against his will the end and turned evil. Got sent back, stayed Pokemon, got resentful. Wanted to end humanity after a while. Possible. But I prefer it just being an actual Pokemon. Perhaps a region-specific Pokemon for that area of the whatever region this team exists in. Could be a Zoroark though. I do like the idea of like an upright, intelligent Pokemon. That would be perfect for the role. Team Arc? That could be good. That is quite a poignant name. But imagine the evil team battle, like you fight him, he has 6 Pokemon, you fight them all, and then when you defeat the 6 Pokemon, he finally he only then reveals what he is, and then fights you too. So he actually has 7 Pokemon, because one of them is himself. That would be a surprise. I like it when a battle in a video game surprises you with plot that also changes how the battle works. That's always fun. Final Fantasy did that well in some battles. It's a Ditto, no. No! Being able to talk does not limit what it could be. Because you have to remember something. There's quite a few Pokemon that can use, my brain broke. There's quite a few Pokemon that can, telepathically speak to others. Quite a few Psychic types, for instance. And if this fella was all cloaked up and in a mask and everything, you couldn't really tell how he was talking. So he'd just be really creepy for a while. That's true, though. Meowth can speak, so you can learn how to talk. Most Pokemon can, I'd say. Well, I mean, I suppose it depends on perhaps the physical makeup of their vocal cords, but... But yeah, designing evil teams is fun. Loxton did a really interesting one. He created a region based off of kind of Oregon, kind of like the Midwest of the United States. And he made an evil team that was basically just a mega corporation where the CEO thought he was doing a lot of good for the region and advancing and stuff, but in fact he was really kind of putting it down. He even wanted to capture legendaries to basically make things run better, thinking he was all doing it for the sake of progress. I don't remember what their team was called. I can link the video though. It's quite good. I'll look it up for those curious about this kind of topic, because it's actually quite good. Yeah, the Cascade region, he called it. There you go, here's the video. As far as I can tell, it's basically evil Amazon, which basically means it's Amazon. Well, yeah, I mean, with what you said, Fox, like, once he's out of Pokemon and he rips off his disguise, I would imagine him to go a little bit more, well, feral. You mean it's Amazon if they were good? I mean, fuck, that's a hot take. Yeah, once he gets in, see, he's kind of a, this team leader, he'd be like, this Pokemon team leader, he'd be all, like, speaking to his associates, like, them becoming Pokemon means they reach a higher level of being and stuff. And maybe they know he's a Pokemon. I actually think that might be the case. But, like, in all truthfulness, he wants to subjugate everybody, Pokemon or not, which is why he has the Pokemon he uses. He acts like he's above everybody. The ultimate creature, because he's able to come up with all these plans. But when he's actually backed into a corner and has to fight himself, he's basically upset about it. In very much a I'm not a common Pokemon, I shouldn't have to dirty my claws with this fighting nonsense. That just goes to show he's a big ol' asshole. He's not thinking for the betterment of Pokemon. He wants to subjugate Pokemon just as bad as Getsis did. He just wants to take it a step further. As they realize humans are a lot more controllable if they're not human. I also don't think he's like the most powerful Pokemon or anything. He's not like a legendary. He's just quite the manipulator, and he has a whole group of people helping him achieve his goals. Kind of like Getsus again, but not an identical, not a clone of Getsus by any means. Just a similar using people to get to, you know, more than one team leader did that though. Getsus did it, Cyrus did it. He used his team to try to do something very drastic that I'm pretty sure most of his team did not want to do. But of course, inevitably, he does have to soil his claws. And fight you as if he runs out of Pokemon. Which just pisses him off heavily. That'd be a pretty cool surprise mechanic, though. Let's find out the Skitty. Also, yeah, I agree, Key. Luxton really does know how to put together a very good, like, what-if or theory video. He did a couple other things on the Cascade region, too. For those that didn't click the link, basically it's evil Amazon, and they made, like, robotic Pokemon. They even have, like, I think they modified a Drifloon to be able to carry packages and stuff, so... Rage State? Be basically just as normal. Like, Pokemon, bestial Pokemon fighting style, probably. But he would be enraged while he did it, sure. Maybe that could have something to do with his Pokemon ability, I don't know. Like I said, having a region exclusive for whatever region this game would supposedly take place in, I would say is probably... You could have it be a Zoroark, but I think it'd be more interesting for it to be a region exclusive. Because then you also wouldn't know what you were fighting against, you know? Also, that would leave his identity more secret. Hi, Red. Cyrus wanted to make a universe that he alone can lead. He was going to leave Team Galactic Man to be destroying the old universe. Yeah, and Team Galactic didn't know about it. Both Cyrus and Getsus were playing his own team. Well, Getsus was playing... like, what, 2/3 of his team? Because 2/3 of his team thought they were in for a good cause, while Getsus did have his, like, direct supporters, which, of course, stuck with him for the second game, which I didn't play. I just know that he had loyalists that were supporting his full vision. So. Oops, I missed something. Getsus was a pretty good villain, honestly. Nihilego Lucamine. Yeah, but did they ever define if Nihilego was actually, like, acting maliciously? I feel like the way it was described is that was just a Pokemon. Just being a Pokemon and just, like, that was its survival method to, like, latch on and feed off somebody. So I feel like Nihilego was less orchestrating plans and more just trying to feed. It was technically doing a pretty evil thing, but I don't think it was doing it by intent. But I do think it's entirely possible to have an intelligent Pokemon actually practicing evil intent. And that's what I'm describing for my idea. So what would be the crisis catalyst? What would be the plan that they have to turn people into Pokemon? It would probably have to be on a large scale to some degree, like some sort of take Bill's technology, amplify it so it could be sent out like a big ol', you know, signal blast across the whole area, possibly affecting, you know, a region, the whole region probably, or close to that. Apply to water? I could see that. I was thinking more energy-based though, because I'm pretty sure that Bill's teleport accident was all about matter distribution, energy states. Channeling the power of electricity is definitely what I was. It definitely makes sense. I'm sort of thinking like, you know how the Pokemon, actually quite a few of the Pokemon games have prominent radio towers, like Gold and Silver. So maybe whatever region this took place in would have like a really powerful radio tower, and they would like to use a and the evil team's goal is to take a Pokemon that can basically transmit energy. And utilizing a technology that they basically forced Bill to make to basically copy his mistake with the teleporters. They want to channel it through the legendary on top of the antennas, basically. And just basically send out a big old blast of energy everywhere. Humans are Pokemon. A legend that lets Pokemon change their species. Yeah, the humans are Pokemon theory is an interesting one. I could see it. Since humans are animals, and there's less animals in this world. But theory crafting aside, if we were to see humans as, regardless, it wouldn't really matter too much. That is true, though. Pokemon or humans can withstand more than normal humans. Bye, Epic. Have a good night. If I recall, there's another Miitopia song that makes me think of Pokemon. Can't remember what, though. Maybe I did that backwards. Actually, no, I didn't. I got enough. playing with colors a bit. Kind of like that. Okay, maybe I'll just do that. Yeah, that was good. Okay. I have only watched a couple Pokemon movies, actually. Just the first two were really, I think. Or maybe the first three. Might have been the first three. Oh, Statland! Yeah, I do remember that. I didn't watch that season of the anime, but I have watched that particular episode. That's very sad. So if we were to make this evil team leader a new region-specific Pokemon, so what kind of Pokemon would he be then? I think Zoroark is a good base for like the sort of build we'd want, probably. That build's been done before. It's not really too crazy to use that build again. After all, Lucario and Zoroark are both examples of that build. So something upright and Anthro certainly would make the most sense. I wonder what species we work off of. I was actually thinking a Psychic type, personally. Make a little more sense for a few reasons. Especially after malicious Psychic type Articuno. What translates well into a Pokemon that hasn't already been done, basically? The best question to ask is, okay, well, what animals have not been made official Pokemon? It's always a good place to start, I think. Psychic Poison's an unusual combination. Is that even a combination that has any entries in it? I'm not sure. A shoe. What the hell you... What? What? Glorious Soulbow. Oh, good point, actually. Actually, I have an idea. Here's an interesting species idea. It would give him quite an imposing frame, actually. Base him on a maned wolf. Maned wolves are really interesting. They are canid creatures, but they have a deer-like limb length and shape. It'd make him kind of tall. And give him an interesting lanky appearance. Also, the thinner frame that results from that would probably work well for a Psychic type as well. And then maybe adapt a little bit of inspiration from Kitsune masks for his markings, for like head markings and stuff. Because while the actual Kitsune in Pokemon Ninetales is definitely a nine-tailed fox, it doesn't actually have Ninetales markings. So why not give those to another Canid, especially a Psychic type? You know what they should have in the next Pokemon games? Quality content. I'm missing that after last gen. But Shadow Access? Oh, that would be... What a pipe dream that would be, huh? Be nice, but that's never gonna happen. If I could, I would attempt to draw a concept of this. I mean, Key or somebody else who draws could do it if they wanted to. So if they had Shadows, they get more complaints about it than even smaller Pokemon support Shield because of Shadows and everything else. I misread that first because you put a T in the word. I mean, that's a good point. And you can still catch the other Pokemon. You just have to catch a Shadows. I mean, it'd be really convenient. You catch a Shadows, it's only your Pokedex pings with like 50 new Pokemon. Very convenient. Actually, think about that. Several Pokemon are very clearly supposed to be eat other Pokemon whole. Cramorant's an obvious example, but there's plenty of other Pokemon that probably do it too. What if a trainer caught a Cramorant that has just gulped down something, and thus that something is still perfectly alive and whole? If he caught the Cramorant, would he register 2 Pokemon in his dex? I feel as if the answer should be yes. Also, Key, don't goad me into your art. Hey, if you want, I'm just saying if you wanted to try it. You know, I actually would like to get, speaking of art, just, it'd be nice to either commission or collab with some people and get some more AV stuff. Like Safe Work AV stuff I could stream. That'd be fun. I'd like to do more of that. There we go. Shiny Cramorant. If a Shiny Cramorant gets a fish or Pikachu in its mouth, are those also shiny out of curiosity, or are they normal? Kind of wondering how the shiny coloration works when it picks up other Pokemon. Like, does the shininess bleed over, is what I'm thinking. They're normal. It would make the most sense for them to be normal. Alright, now the question is where to add the orange. Yeah, probably that. Nice. For such chance to pick up a shiny, that would be amusing. Actually, I think about it, this song is also very Pokemon-like. Did some of the people from Game Freak that did music for a lot of the Pokemon games do music from Utopia? Like, listen to this part. This is such a Pokemon riff. Goddamn twerking, man. Saw an AV picture of one of those. I'm actually just trying to figure out, like... I'm just quickly doing a little bit of a look-see. Okay, yeah, I'm not seeing any crossover between composers between Pokemon games and Utopia. Doing a little check of that because I was curious. I see no crossover composers. At least for the Pokemon games I checked. I checked the later entries. A twerky is a turkey that... So Utopia works in that parts of people's faces, NPCs' faces in the game get like captured by monsters, and you gotta kill the monster, and their face part is on the monster. And you kill the monster, you rescue their face, basically. The twerky puts the face of people on its butt, and it does what it says as it presents its ass to the player and twerks. And since it has a face literally right smack on the middle of its ass, one can definitely get some thoughts with the fact that that face has a mouth, and that mouth is in fact a, you know, technically a hole, and so there's, yeah. Specifically a mouth, just a mouth. Yeah, that's right, it's just the mouth. So... So technically, Nintendo was really explicit with that creature. Just because it's not the port you expect back there, it is still a port on a butt. It's just a mouth port and not a expected port. But it's close. It's very close though. So we're done with the flats. All right, let's see here. And again, I probably should raise the point. My art is really quite tame compared to some things. Oops. Okay. Jesus theme, yeah. You're not wrong, basically. If you play Midtopia, you'd understand. I haven't played it, but I still understand. Look, I started looking... I'll be honest, I started looking at Midtopia stuff after I learned about the Twerky, and I just needed to know what the fuck was going on. Pretty good so far. There we go. That's better. The thing about shade is if I don't like how something looks, I just pull up my blur tool and use that, and then it's good. And if I overdraw, I pull up my line tool, and I just do a quick cleanup like this. For instance, I do need to color this part of the arm, but I don't want to color it yet. So instead I'm going to do this. Go. And the park cleaned up again. Well, hey there, Ghosty. How are you doing over there? Got home from work sore. Oof. Hard work day, I assume. There we go. Balancing act. Balancing the... I want a bunch of darkness down there because the bulges are squishing in on the foot. I had to plan it out just right. Alright, let's see. Every battle song has a variation that's used for Metopia that's only used for the game's pause. Really? That's kind of interesting. This just sounds like a Mega Man X song. Also, Ghosty, I kind of feel you, actually. I'm a bit sore myself. Been overworking. That's why I haven't talked yet, as you may probably have noticed. Just trying to prep for that damn vacation, which means doing more work than normal. Such is the way of things, I suppose. Yeah, I hope so too. Sucks to have to overwork. At the very least, we should all try to find time to recover after doing such. Gosh, the selection tool is really used for shading. It allows me to shade separate sections of a layer, rather than shading the whole damn layer at once. So if I want to make sure that I can shade one section without bleeding it into another section, selection tool. Very handy. Also, Tom, you fucked around with Antifer. Used that I retweeted an art raffle as a way to say my argument was valid. Even though arguments about a TikToker is putting fucking Gorilla Glue in her hair. What does it have to do with an art raffle? Also, thank you, Ghosty. Feeling better. I plan on a very, very nice vacation, so that should give me plenty of recovery when I have the chance to do it. And it can be hard where you are. Depends if it's slow day or not. Some days non-stop. So Ghosty, you go into work and you don't even know what your workload's gonna. You don't know how bad your workload's gonna be until you do it, basically. I feel ya. My workload at least can be personally controlled, so I know how much hard I'm going to be working every day, which is honestly quite a luxury. Because a lot of people don't have that ability to be able to predict that. Of course, sometimes I mispredict, and I'm like, oh, I'm going to do this art project, and then it turns out, oh, by the way, I need to spend 13 hours on it because I miscalculated how long it was going to take me. I forgot I had this remix. It's a good remix. Peak season. Is peak season after Christmas? Usually things slow down, but this year seems to be... Well, usually like right after Christmas things slow down for a while for most jobs, but... I mean, my boyfriend works at Walmart, and he he most certainly has not had things slow down this year, unlike most years. It's all because of, you know, world events, really. It's messing up everything. Ah, I see. So that is... Yeah, it's pretty normal peak time. To be fair to Tom, I did kind of randomly inquire in confusion, but... Though reading that interaction, Tom, I do have to say, while you just stated that you were messing with his anti-fur, it kind of sounds more like to me that you were being messed with by the anti-fur. It sounds like he was bothering you. That's probably a person I would have just ignored. But clearly he's been on your mind a bit, so sadly, I think he might have gotten to you more than you got to him. Should I put that on the back? Maybe not. Well, I don't know. Just a bit there. Yeah, that's probably good enough. I don't need to be too dramatic with the shading on the head. Yeah, don't feed the troll. That's immediately what I thought of when you were describing all that. Like, that seems like a pretty well-fed troll, unfortunately. It's worth remembering, friends, sometimes trolls don't generally care if you're talking back to them and if you're blocking them. If they got a rise out of you, then they won. Even if you think you won, if you were agitated by the person, then they probably are the winner, unfortunately. Now let's see here. That's weird. This is not doing anything. One second. I put it on luminosity. That's correct. Why am I not seeing anything in color when I do that? Oh wait, I am seeing something. Oh, because I have the head selected. I'm an idiot. Actually, since I have that selected, it's just... That's not very strong luminosity. Let's turn it up more. That's too strong. Let's do... How's 35 look? Looks pretty good. I think 35 will do. Yeah. That looks comfy, I think. Also, I'm not trying to shame you or anything, Tron, with what I said. This is just I feel like this is just me going like, this is a good chance to mention a life lesson. Like, I'm just trying to help out. That's how we beat the troll last week. Being so sleepy, we really don't understand what I half didn't understand the troll, that particular troll, and half just didn't care. I was like, all right, cool. I guess he's trying to get a rise up. I'm too tired to get a rise up. You can't. He just kind of left after a while. I could tell he was very unfulfilled. Because he just, even if I hadn't been watching how I felt around the guy, I was too tired for him to actually piss me off. Yeah, we had numerous trolls after all the mods went to bed, basically. Because I guess somehow these trolls knew that all the mods had left. I don't know. Coincidence, I'm sure, but... Just people saying lame things. Honestly, the problem is that most of the trolls' tactics are just dumb soundings. I just kind of matter-of-factly go like, that's kind of a really dumb thing to say. Like, it doesn't offend me because it's like, well, that's really stupid, or like, you're making a generalization, or like, you're making an assumption, or like, that's not how this is at all. You're completely misinterpreting the situation. It's just like, man, dude, you're really kind of dense. I'm sorry, but I have to say it. It's like, they're trying to piss me off, but I'm just like, well, that's a dumb statement, though. How could I get pissed off at a dumb statement? It's a dumb statement. This is too dumb for me to get pissed off about it. You gotta do better than that. You can't get pissed off about something that's illogical. Come on. Yeah, you could check the VOD. There are some trolls that can affect me, but most of the time they can't. Typical troll behavior is too Neanderthal-like to affect me. It's so basic and boring, and it's like, come on. Like, here's the thing about trolls. When a troll shows up to try to affect me, instead of them affecting me, I just usually am like... I'm kind of just quietly judging the amount of wordplay and word skill they're presenting. And if it's just lame, insightful shit where they don't understand anything and they're just making generalizations, like, well, that's... You didn't even fucking try. At least write a fucking script next time. At least plan out your words. Like, fuck, dude. 3 out of 10. Low effort trolling, come on. Like, the only thing that annoys me with them is that they didn't try harder. The only thing that annoys me is like, dude, that was a really lame troll. You could have trolled so much better than that. There's so many better ways to troll. And you just failed. You failed at trolling. Yeah, look, you're gonna come in here try to piss me off. You're not even gonna put effort into it. Come on. Come on, aren't I worth a little bit more trouble? Like, you're gonna come here and try to piss people off. I mean, at least give it a best effort. It's like showing up to a diving competition and all you know how to do is belly flop. Like I don't fucking. Why did you show up? You just make yourself look stupid at that point. Probably it's best that I'll try harder. I know, but I'm just gonna have my fun with this because it's a great way to great way to counteract them, to express, hey, that was a bad attempt. I gave you a low score rate on this trolling attempt, and then I just because I don't know, man. Go figure that the people who troll are also not the people who like think mindfully about how they're speaking and speak intelligently. Hey, go figure the people who troll are not that intelligent in how they speak and act and stuff. It's almost like trolling is a really fucking low IQ thing to do or something. There is next level trolling though. I remember this one person who like trolled. There is good trolling. Good trolling is like where you troll somebody who is doing something bad, so you troll them about it, so they stop, so they like realize they're being a dick. I have seen good trolls occasionally, but mostly I see bad trolls. You don't see the good trolls very often. One good example of a good troll is like if there's a bad troll, but you have a good troll in your audience, the good troll could fuck with them. That's that. I've seen that. Megara? What's Megara? Or who's Megara? Well, I don't remember Megara. What is Megara? Oh, hey, it's Hanabi music. Everybody remembers Hanabi music, right? If you don't, you're a terrible person. You should have watched that video. Why didn't you? Skater movie star. Oh, okay, I think I vaguely remember him. I'm glad I found this musician through Hanabi music. Very good musician. Yeah, let's play some Hanabi music. I feel like it now. Oh, I have the full soundtrack of both games here, actually. I didn't even notice. Sure, why not? Bark the song like you just saw a squirrel. I'm not sure my voice is up for that right now. Only the barking to all the dogs outside. They've been barking a lot today. They're doing it so I don't have to. I'm lazy. A bunch of light on the back of the tail. Look at how nice that looks with the tail fin. Oh, this is coming out good. And yes, this is level 1. And that is one more dead fruit fly. Sorry, Beerus, but they're not friends of mine. They perpetually exist in this house. At least never to the point of being an actual pestilence, but they're still annoying. Did I make the shading too dark? Eh. Maybe. Yeah, that looks better. To answer your question, I have used exactly one Hanabi song in Poker Roll. But now that you mention it... More of it could technically be repurposed for Poker Roll, I suppose. This song sounds very Poker Roll appropriate. How did I not remember that? I haven't mentioned which song is... Well... Maybe I did at one point? I don't quite remember. Let's see here. I'll do it later. I wanted to fix a color issue, but I was in the middle of selecting something, so I can't actually do it right now. Had to think about that for a second. Poker's good. Oops. Oh. Yeah, I suppose that'll do. Okay, now I can fix that little mistake. Actually, where even was it? Alright. There we go. Okay. Oops. It is Umbreon Day? I should have done the... I should have done Jerry's picture this week, huh? So says Pixiv or something. Huh. Thinks to himself if he has the other Umbreon pictures. I think I do, actually. Thinking about it. Oh, right. Clear that. There we go. Forgot how I had inverted the tool, thus selecting way more than normal. Another Arc Focus Holiday. No, this actually gave me an idea. I might pull Stain up in a minute. So this project's going pretty smoothly, actually. This one, like I said, this is a pretty simple picture. Simple is not bad, though. Just because an art project takes less time to complete does not make it less good. Though sometimes I do get that kind of feeling of like, well, this isn't complex enough a project. People will enjoy this. Sometimes I feel that, but you know what? It's not really true. Go. I'm gonna actually use two different shading layers for this. Layer 1 is gonna be this general purpose one I've already placed here pretty well. Then this one, more fill, kind of. The nice thing about shading is you don't have to be very exact of it. Just kind of throw shading where it might look good in your opinion. You can generally achieve some pretty good results. For me, I'm just dropping some shading underneath any bulge that looks like it would cast a shadow, basically. And then it's kind of, as you can see, this adds quite a bit of depth, even if I'm not being super precise about it. Black fur? Oh, that is tricky. I usually lighten up a character if I'm going to shade them and they're already dark furred. Kind of balance it out that way. Is that the final state? Yep, that's the final level of How to Be One. An amusement park. Which, for some reason, was also the first stage of the second game. Thanks, guys. Yeah, I think I've gotten Shane down. Actually, Ghosty, you might remember either back when I said I was bad at shading or either just wasn't very good at it. Because there was a time period where I just was not really sure what I was doing with shading. Then eventually figured it out. I mean, I'm not perfect, I suppose, but certainly gotten better at it. I've mastered the technique of throwing shit together and then throwing some light on top of that, and then it all looks good at the end. And you know what? That's all that really matters. I only noticed now this song has that main melody. The main Hanabi melody, and I never even noticed that. Huh. But that's looking pretty good. Some might argue I added too much shading, but I can actually balance it out with lighting, so it's not even an issue. Basically, if I feel like, oh, maybe there's a little too much shading there, I put light on top of it, boom. Everything's fine again. But also, I can just erase if I want to. Like so. There we go. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I think that looks pretty solid. Ah, thanks for the follow, Lip Nettle. Lip Nettle or Lip? Lip? Okay. Ever just house thing where you're like, did I read that right? Bulge detail is fun. So that should be shaded there. And a little bit here. Okay, that's pretty good. It's a little bit messy, but I will be touching it up. There, perfect. So a little subtle bit of lighting on top of that. All right, there we go. That's pretty good. Now I'll do the rest with actual lighting. Okay, cool. Better question is, what did it eat exactly? Oh yeah, final boss song for Hanabi 1. For anybody not aware of what the hell we're talking about, this is a cute furry squirrel game. It's a squirrel platformer. It's really, really good. I heavily recommend you guys check it out. Well, it's not like the world's best game ever, but goddamn is it furry as heck and good. Also, soundtrack is solid. This may not seem like a very traditional final boss theme, but you're literally fighting an evil parade float, so it actually works quite well. It's a dragon, too. It was also stage music in yeah, it's true. There was some song reuse between games, but that's alright, I don't mind. That's just smart repurposing. Probably saving money on musician too a little bit. So it was not done too much, so I didn't mind it. I didn't mind. 6.8 out of 10. Charming, but not a lot there. Agreed. It's a fun romp while you play it, but there's really isn't much reason to replay it, despite it having a New Game Plus mode. It's basic, but it's still fun. It's still fun. Like I said, it's worth a romp. Just not really worth a past that. Yeah, the money grinding stuff just feels like them attempting to make their game longer. I've seen much more egregious examples, though. Listen, if you enjoy the furry stuff, it's worth a romp for just the fact that there's so many fucking cute characters in it in both of the games. So I'd say that just experiencing the levels and talking to all the characters is worth it for a playthrough. I feel like it is. Is it really breakthrough or anything? No, not really. But it's a charming little thing, all the same. I'll fully attest, as far as gameplay goes, there's not a whole lot going on. But I like it. Not every game has to be infinitely replayable. If some games are best just like played once and then put aside, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Not every game has to be super ambitious or have really complex modes or something. Basically, what I feel Hanabi is exactly what it was meant to be, except for the grinding. The grinding does indicate a kind of a desire to pad a little bit, but it's very optional, very minor grinding, honestly, in the grand scheme of things. I've grinded far worse in many AAA games. I've grinded far worse in many situations. It's kind of a weird statement to say. They know they call me the grind master. I've grinded so much. Fucking no, I don't really like grinding in games. Not really the best activity. Oh, Inferno Industry. Yeah. Honestly, Inferno Industry had Final World music more than the Final World did. This place sounded way more like a final level, and looked like it too. I mean, listen to this music. This song is good. It certainly kind of had a, oh shit, this is a very important, this is where things are, it just sounds very climactic. To be fair, it did have a boss fight, so I guess it was pretty important, because not every stage had boss fights. It's a very good melody, though. Yeah, I think 3 bosses just kind of dotted about. Game never really felt focused on its bosses. I mean, well, technically, 3 boss situations. There are 2 bosses midway through the game. Final stage had... Technically, the final stage was loaded with bosses, though, in both games. There was, like, 4 sub-bosses before you got to the final boss who had 2 forms. So, technically, 2 bosses throughout the game, and then the final stage technically had 6 bosses. Yeah, there's a big boss rush, and then the final boss has 2 forms in both games, so... Basically, all the bosses are really crammed at the end. Most of them. Kind of an odd balance, but it works, I suppose. If any stage should have a boss rush, probably should be the final one. I should point out, we played Hanabi 1, we played Hanabi 2, but there's still one more furry game from Enigmatic Entertainment that we haven't checked out yet. Also, how about this lighting, right? Maybe it's too bright, but I like it. Could always just adjust the opacity of it. Feels like maybe I should open up some light there. I'll just take a while to shade. But heck, you can add so much definition to a picture if you do it right. What do you guys think? Is the lighting too intense or is it just about right? Give me your thoughts. By the way, speaking of killing foxes that throw snowballs at you. Snowy School. Looks good? Alright. I think the shade intensity is about right where I want it, though. So that's good. Actually, now I'm really listening for it. I hear that Hanabi main theme in a lot of these songs. There's a reprise of it right now going on. The musician did a really good job with this soundtrack, honestly. I do think the soundtrack made the game a lot more enjoyable for me. Like I said, it wasn't a really complex or really amazing game, but I do have to say, if you have a decent game, and then you give it a good soundtrack, that can make the game quite fun. It's just a nice... Music can actually add to a journey immensely. So you're just going through some levels that are pretty interesting to look at, even if they're kind of simple. The music enhances them a great deal at that point. You know, this almost sounds like a Pokemon song. Sounds like a Roots song. Listen, it's a Roots song, I just realized. It has that fill. Some nice snowy route later in the game. Because, you know, in most Pokemon games, The root music gets more serious and more triumphant the further you go in the game. Basically, the longer your adventure goes on, the more the root music kind of reflects that. And I feel like this song is doing that. Yeah, I can tell. It's got that same melody. Da 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 is actually that rhythm has been used in many Pokemon root songs. Da 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 da. It's actually a very common usage. It works. It's a good rhythm. So. That's why it's so familiar. And then we got Animal Crossing music. It's not. But it's basically the same first few measures. One thing I want to say to Pokemon games that plays the Snow Root is early in the game. Near little Snow Roots near the end of the games. I thought it would actually be kind of cool. Actually, now that you mention it, extending on that more, Ice-type Pokemon, you almost never catch those early game because usually they're more specialty. It's usually a more specialty type you see later in the game. So that too would also prove to be kind of cool because can you imagine like getting a Snorunt really early on and having that be one of your main team members for most of the game? You don't really see that sort of thing in most of the Pokemon games. You don't see ice types being utilized early in a team. But I think that would actually be quite cool. That's a bulgy. Oh my goodness, yes. Look at how much more 3D those bulges are of all the shading. Ah, yes. Yes, 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 yes. Good. That's the reason shading is something I'm glad I got it used to doing because, damn man, it adds so much fucking compare again. Let me turn all the layers off. Belly, it's bulgy. Belly with shading. Look at how many angles it now suddenly has. Love it. This looks so much better with shading. That's the fun of a Vore belly. Just a bunch of bulges bouncing off light different ways. You know what? This sounds like a real... This specific Hanabi song. This particular Hanabi song, it feels like a tropical Kirby level. Which, it is a tropical level, so hey. Actually, no, it isn't actually. Wooden Walls is a city level. I think. Honestly, a number of Hanabi songs do seem Kirby-inspired, which is by no means a bad thing. It's also very singable, melody-wise. It's pretty catchy. Yeah, actually, it'd be kind of interesting just to see a Pokemon game. Again, official. I know ROM hacks and fan games can do this, but like, how about not grass, water, and fire starters for once? Normal starters are fine. I don't mind them. They're pretty good for kind of fitting into whatever niche. Of course, you can get normal types easily enough at the beginning of most games, but... Oh yeah, by the way, here's X-rated Xandu. The level that people were talking about earlier. Also, its song is amazing. It also has final level sound to it. Honestly. Yeah, this game was this level is a bit weird because it's a spa. All the spikes in the level are dildos. Just a bunch of standing up dildos. There's giant swinging vibrators, like pod vibrators, that run into you and hurt you. They electrify you. Yep. It's a bit of an odd level. But technically speaking, nothing actually explicit happens. It's technically, you know, sex toys by themselves not being used, there's something really wrong with that. It is a little bit eyeball, but, you know. I mean, it was clearly a pleasure spa. What I find hilarious that Hanabi doesn't understand any of it, and it just hurts her. So, you know, you follow the dildos, they just act as spikes. They just cause damage. Same with the vibrator, and they electrify you. It's like, what the hell? I mean, in this situation, it's better that they harm her, because the alternative probably would be explicit. If I recall, because if at the beginning of the game, Hanabi had just become an adult. So there is some implication that Hanabi doesn't literally doesn't understand any of the objects. It's a very old Japan level. Yeah, well, at least she did become an adult. That level would have been very awkward if she wasn't. To be fair, though, it's really hard to understand exactly how old Hanabi is, considering that her squirrel village, it's like a test of adulthood that you have to pass by, like, doing a dangerous obstacle course. So I don't really understand, like, can anybody become an adult as long as they pass the evil deadly obstacle course, or it's hard to understand how that works. It seems less age-based and more aptitude-based. Which, hot take, I kind of feel like sometimes basing everything, basing all assumptions, abilities, and making... sometimes I do feel that assuming somebody's maturity based on their age, assuming what they can or can't do responsibly, such as drinking, driving, smoking, renting a car, gambling, etc., factoring all of that, all those important decisions to nothing but a number, actually does kind of seem irresponsible to me. I feel like aptitude is more important than age. In other words, if somebody can prove themselves to be worth that aptitude, then sure. Kind of like you do pass a license test to drive a car to get a driver's license. But let's be honest there, a lot of people can really flub that, and there's a lot of people behind the road that probably were super lazy with that shit, and yet they still got their license, so. The obstacle was meant for males. The female was meant to do another trial. What was the females supposed to just get courted? Was that how they like courted by the male? I feel like there was misogyny in the squirrel tribe, if I recall. To be fair, Hanabi stood up to it. If it were easy to get a system like that, schools wouldn't be based on a point system. Yeah, well, that's also, I think a point system is just really a little too... what I am asking for is complicated. It would take effort to implement, but... Don't think the females had one, but Hanabi wanted to do it so she could use fireworks. That's right, because she fucking loves fireworks. That's all the point. She attacks with fireworks, for those that haven't seen the games. She is Hanabi the fireworks squirrel. She has all sorts of fireworks. It's actually quite an inventive attack system. I honestly feel like Hanabi, like we discussed earlier, the Hanabi games are kind of simple. They don't have a whole lot going on, and they're not really worth playing a second time, I think. But honestly, Hanabi's moveset, world design, character design, all of that could be taken and put into a far more full-featured game. Her attack method in particular is fucking genius. The different types of, from sparklers to the ground traveling fireworks to the air fireworks. She's got all sorts of interesting attack methods. It could really... imagine this for a second. Instead of just having a 2D platformer with an enjoyable but kind of shallow romp through the game, how about this? Hanabi the Squirrel 3D platformer. That would be interesting. She's already got a lot of fun movement options. She could use her sparkler to basically hover and float down. In fact, there's even momentum physics in the Hanabi games where, so like if I'm riding up a moving platform and I jump off of it, then I get a higher jump. Conversely, if it's going downwards and I jump off it, I get a lower jump than normal. Momentum actually travels with you in the Hanabi games, and that also applies to the sparkler, giving you... Sparkler normally just lets you glide downwards slowly, but if you had an upward boost from a platform, the sparkler actually lets you glide upwards through the air for a while too. That complex momentum system would be fucking lovely in a 3D platformer. Like, it would honestly feel really nice to control, I think. So, quite honestly, a Hanabi game in 3D would be I think that would really bring it forward as, like, this is a really good concept, you know? Plus, the games already have a collectible nature, so while they are stage-based, you go through them linearly, there is stuff to collect along the way, so I say just go all the way of it. Make a Hanabi game that's truly a collectathon. Put it in 3D, have levels that are cute with all sorts of cute characters, diverse levels of cute characters all around. It's a level version of the Final Boss music, which I don't think it's any different. I think it's the same song. Alright. Okay, so I still need to shade around the character, but before that, what kind of background are we putting in this? What do you guys think? Actually, you're right. I think this version's a little more chill. Actually, it has this. It's different. It is different. It has different instrumentation. I don't feel like making a complex background. I'll probably take something online and gussy it up like I do. Let's see. In what situation have I devoured tons of people? What scenario and setting should I consider for this? I didn't really think too in-depth about that. A market? Generic Forest and Apple commercial? What? I have a thought. What's this? Let's see. Pokemon Center? Yeah, I could do that. Bit of a callback, perhaps. Oh, good idea, Ghosty. Yep, just need to find a nice... Hey, remember that time that James from the anime dressed up as a Moltres? I didn't, but I just found that while looking for images. You have a good night, Ghosty. I hope you feel better, too. Oh, Lucius. I can't say words today. Thanks for subscribing. You can get a free box, as the thing says. Make sure to do that. That applies to anybody who just got a subscription earlier from Crimson, too. Go grab yourself a free Rocks box if you have it. I mean, it's free. James likes to dress up. I'm trying to figure something out. One thing that I kind of like to do sometimes, by the way, if you're wondering why, sometimes it's good just to look up, like, if you want a nice image for your Pokemon picture, just look up the Pokemon anime, start looking around, see if there's any nice, like, environmental shots, and take one of those. That's always an effective way to come up with a decent background quick. Some pretty decent shots here and there. I might just do Pokemon Center. Huh. That's an interesting image. Yeah, if you're wondering, I'm just off the side looking at some stuff. Okay, let's look at Pokemon Center now. Find a decent shot. Well, I mean... Final boss. Hanabi 2. Hanabi the Witch. May have a joke about him coming out in the Moltres episode. Oh, that's great. Also, I am not fighting a good... Hold on a second. Pokemon virtual backgrounds? Oh, I see. I mean, I guess that'd work too. Oh. Huh. So it just came to my attention that Pokemon Masters has some really good backdrops. Could just take one of those. Yeah, apparently it does. Why is that a video? I'm sure we're not. Also, the official Pokemon website just gives you backdrops. I guess they just kind of included a whole bunch for people to use as a background. Kind of low resolution, but whatever. At least for a background. I just need to pick one I like. I'm thinking either Volcano or Forest. There is a Pokemon Center one, but it's actually a video for some reason. Oh, a host, thank you. I like the Forest one. I mean, that would work perfectly fine out of Volcano as a fire type, but... Or you just grab a city picture. Hi, do you draw Blastoise? I have not drawn a Blastoise before. So I'm going to decide between two particular images, so... Let's see here. First thing to do is blow up the image until I match the proportions of the image. Okay, I made myself too small now. Certainly works well enough, I suppose. And now we understand why the city street is empty. So we can either do city, which actually might be better with how populous my belly is. Or we could do... Forest. Either or works for me. Though given the lighting of the scenes, the lighting matches better with the forest. Yeah. Now, we are just going to drop in an image, though, because if I zoom in here, this is 100%. If I can zoom in a bit more, you can see it's kind of... I don't know, it's kind of blah, quality-wise. I have a special trick, though. I have a special trick that basically allows me to drop in an image without it looking awkward or out of place. A way to clean up even the messiest and JPEGiest of images is my special technique. Some of you know my special technique at this point. Some of you don't. Basically, we have to open GIMP for a second. He is my baby. You mean Blastoise? Blastoise's a good Pokemon, I suppose. Not really my favorite, per se. I think I actually prefer the other starters more, but... I mean, I do like Squirtle. But, you know. So anyways, here's our background. And, again, it looks a little bit blurry, but watch this. It's a very simple technique, but it's one I've kind of perfected for myself. I'm sure other people use this effect, but I've kind of made it my own, I guess you could say. By basically finding very specific settings for this one effect that GIMP can pull off. I've used it on background images to do some pretty cool stuff, so it almost always works with my art style too. So I think that's probably about right. Let's do that. So now we just wait for that bar to fill. And we go from kind of a blurry mess to style. And it's not, if you zoom in a bunch, you can see it's not blurry anymore. It doesn't technically change the picture that drastically, but it gives it a really nice effect. It also does an extra benefit. It slightly simplifies textures, reducing the variance in the palette and how the palette changes ever so slightly. For instance, if we look at these bushes, you can tell what I mean by that. Things I'll just get just slightly more simplified. This is really helpful for popping a character out atop a background. Anyways, back over here. Simply need to apply it. And, yeah, that looks a lot sharper, you know? It's one of those things that improves the quality. In this case, it's not as drastic as it can be sometimes, but it's so much nicer. So there we go. Makes it look like it was painted, yeah. This can be used very, very effectively on photographs. Sometimes I just take a random photo of an area and then I use that effect to make it basically a painting instead of a photo. Very, very helpful because sometimes I find really good photo images that I would like to use for a background. But of course, putting a drawn character on a photo doesn't really look that great a lot of times. It looks kind of out of place. So using this effect, I can basically make a photo into a painting, which allows me to once again blend it. Alright, so now that I've done that, next thing to do is apply a little more shading. So let's go ahead and do that now. And just need to kind of... Oh, I forgot something much earlier. Very slight thing I just noticed. Actually, I can apply it 2 places now I think about it. Oh, one of the boss themes for Hanabi the Witch. Good idea, Tibbo. First off, do this. We're applying a deeper layer of shading to the bottom of the belly, as well as perhaps right here. This is a subtle change that I'm doing to... There we go. Add just a bit more depth to the proceedings. This adds a lot more... So this what I just added now... Look at how much more weighty the belly looks with just a little bit more shading on it. Just at the bottom. Very effective place for it, a little bit more shading. Now that belly looks like if you were under it, you would not be getting up anytime soon because there is so much density going on. So, I might want to blur it a bit more though. Yeah, right there specifically. Nice. Spooktown, by the way. My sort of place. Who doesn't want to get squished? Why would you want to get out from underneath it anyway? That's a good point. Very illogical statement. Now we can't... Normally I would shade the very bottom of the tail, but since it's near the flame, we're not doing that. In fact... I almost forgot. We're going to... need to do 2 things. First thing... distinctly notice this flame needs a little touch up right here. There we go, much better. Okay. We need to... Yeah, that makes sense. I'll put it behind and then do a little trick. I haven't worked with my tail flame in a while. I had to think about how I wanted to do this, but... There we go. It's a little hard to see, but here's the fun part. Ah, here's the other song that's very much a Kirby song. Probably the most Kirby song out of them. So, Tail Flame Lion requires 2 steps. You gotta place it, and then you gotta erase it. At least from the flame. At least this is how I do it. I don't think it makes much sense for the glow to be overlapping the flame itself, so I always do this. My problem with trying to sing it is that it doesn't give you time to breathe. Holy shit. It's constantly notes, which is very Kirby-esque of it. Crimson, you're sweet. You know that? Thanks for doing that. So much. Like, you're probably single-handedly helping fund, like, a fair chunk of my profits, and I appreciate that. I guess that's the thing about streaming, right? Even if you're not making good money overall, there may just be a random person that just decides, you know what? They like you quite a bit, they like what you do quite a bit, and they're gonna donate quite a bit as well. And that sort of thing, you know, Shy did that in the past. Shy can't really do that anymore, but it was very nice for a while, and it actually helped me out immensely. I had even less money then, so Shy's donations, they kind of allowed for my move, actually, in a way. They certainly helped in that. When I moved, I had to spend a bunch of money on important things like a bed, you know? I'd actually been sleeping on air mattresses exclusively before moving to Canada because it was cheaper. I ended up getting this one air mattress that, well, it would give out every now and then, but I had a warranty on it, so I could just perpetually get new ones. And that was my sleeping arrangement because I couldn't afford a bed. Yeah. But that was how I did it. I hadn't slept on a bed in a very long time. I hadn't slept on a bed since... Like, sleeping on a bed in Canada here, that's... The last time I slept on a bed was before I went homeless in New York City. So that was a while back. Also there. Lights. Nice. A play mattress? I didn't even have that, no. Though just the mattress on the floor does work, I mean. I am also glad I'm able to sleep in a bed. It's definitely improved my sleep, having a bed, I mean. I don't really I'm known to bitch about some things, but honestly, my life circumstances, I don't really talk about them a whole ton, admittedly, like, especially in the past, but also, even the present, I suppose. There's quite a few things that most of you have either known for a very long time in your lives, like you've had it for a long time, and you just know it as part of what you have. Or you just have in general that I don't have. For instance, when I lived with Lucardivore for a while, my old friend Lucard, I lived with him in Arkansas. I moved to his house, and it was the house he grew up in. It was the house he lived in all his life, and he showed me all the stuff around his room and how he had made his room very much his own over the years because he had lived in it so long. And I just was like, when he introduced me to his home and his room, I just had this sense of sorrow, like, I've never known that experience. I've never known the experience of living in a place safely and comfortably long enough to etch out your own little place in it, you know? Because I was always, you know, Caleb lived in a terrible household before me, and then I was moving all over the place, being homeless, bouncing about. I didn't know the idea of just growing up in a place was not something I understood. Because my life was too tumultuous for that, and so was Caleb's. Sorry if I'm making you sad. I was actually very happy for the card that he had that, you know, experience. And I was able to help him out with my own experiences too, because we had to move eventually. And he was really worried about moving because, again, he had lived in that house all his life, so the idea of going somewhere else was practically quite frightening, you know? So I was able to help him out, and help him out with that, because I had that experience. You know, I moved plenty, more than I should have ever had to move. So I was able to help him, you know, kind of like get used to the idea. But I do envy that, you know, I envy that idea of like, I mostly don't envy it for myself, I more envy it for Caleb, because he had such a bad life. I wish he had had the ability to have that experience, you know? Of just having security and safety in a place that he just stayed in. Would have been nice. Oh, hi there, whatever. I'm sorry that you joined in the middle of that conversation, but welcome. But suffice to say, I don't really talk about this the whole time because I could bring the mood down very easily if I talked about just what I have seen, I guess, with Caleb's life and my own life. Let's just say, though, that the reason I am generally a pretty nice person, and the reason I tend to be pretty thoughtful, at least I think I am, I think everybody can kind of agree, that I tend to have a decent thing, you know, I tend to have decent wisdom and stuff, and I think that's just because when you lack something, you know how to appreciate things better, I guess you could say. Like, if you've never lost something, then you don't understand the idea of, like, not having it. So in a way, losing things is kind of a good learning experience. I wouldn't recommend it. I'd prefer people not have to lose things in their lives, but like, you know, basic things like a roof over their head and having things they've owned for a while and things they treasure. Like, having things from your childhood. If you have stuff from your childhood, treasure that. There's so much emotional significance for such a thing, and you should be glad that your family was stable enough to allow you to keep those things. And your parents were reasonable enough not to throw them away into the dump like Caleb's possessions were done. I guess you could say this. I know loss quite well. In different ways, many different ways. Which is why I do appreciate my audience, which is why I do appreciate the money I receive and earn. I hope that I can keep earning, I hope I can keep living comfortably, because I've never had that experience, and it's kind of nice. I've never had the experience of I actually have money. I always was used to just, like, scrounging for cash for anything. Because I never had anything, like, in my balance. Hell, in the past, I was lucky to have $100 in a balance, you know? But now I'm doing quite a bit better than that. And I appreciate that. I'm still having to work off of a I'm still having to, like, kind of lop off a paranoia of spending at all. Like, for instance, I had to buy a new chair recently because this office chair I've had for way too long, and it was only a $100 chair in the first place. It wasn't really the world's best chair. It's falling apart, so I bought a new chair, and I literally deliberated over buying a $300 office chair. Not really that bad. It's a really nice chair for the price, especially. But I sat there at the buying screen. I sat there thinking about it for like 15 minutes. Why? Not because I didn't have the money, but because I'm scared of spending money. At least when it comes to large amounts of money, I always get anxious because, again, I'm not used to having money. So the idea of making a big expenditure, it feels like I could very easily fuck it up. Like, oh, I should have spent that. Now I'm screwed, sort of feeling. Like that feeling has to be. I have to work around that feeling basically. Whenever I buy anything more than, I don't know, $50, I suppose. I'm glad, Poi, to what you said. Also, I think we might be done. Aw, Crimson. Tier 3s? Man, dude. Thank you. Also, keep in mind, guys, when Crimson gives you guys tiers 2 or 3 subs, those actually give you more emotes than tier 1 subs. So you actually have some fun. You have some new emotes to play around with if you get a tier 2 or 3 sub. I think that gives you access to... I don't know, actually. I can't remember which one's a tier 3. I feel like tier 3 is Tucker. Hello, Briscoe. Why are pop points so expensive? They actually collect really fast if you watch my streams regularly. I think I might be done, though. I'm trying to, like, consider if there's anything else I want to do here. But I think I'm pretty satisfied with this. Just remember, money does not get you out of everything. Oh, I know. I very well know that. It is not a fix-all, but that's okay. Tier 2 gives Tucker, Tier 3 gives Peppermint. Ah, that's it. Yeah, I don't mull over bills. Actually, with bills, I pay the internet bill, for instance. The moment a new month starts, I ask my boyfriend, hey, what's the internet bill? I want to pay it right now. Actually, on that note, I haven't paid the internet bill this month. Technically, it's not due till the end of the month, but it's technically available right for the start of the month, so I should still ask him for it. I like to get bills out of the way as quickly as possible, so I know how much true money I have. You know. Crimson's shares not. Oh, what's? I understand if you don't want to talk about it in public, but sup, Crimson. What's affecting you? But also, this came out really nice. I think we're done, so I'm gonna save this as well, the title that we named it. Aw, thank you, Iron! At this rate, I wouldn't be surprised if we started a hype train. This is the first time I've seen somebody draw Vore on Twitch. I should have been by last week. I actually did butt Vore then. It was very tame, that's why I did it. Actually, I've done a number of... I have done Vore, I have done butt Vore, I have done Impreg, I have done fat art. It's fun to do this stuff for YouTube and Twitch. I'm not breaking any rules, that's the nice thing. Bye, Fire. Also, just realized I get a tech remote by upgrading the sub. There you go. Also, I forgot you could upgrade subs. Tech remote's a good emote. Kyrie art is good. So I have now saved the picture. I'll even upload it. Hold on a second. I'll share it with you folks. And YouTube, as usual, it's in the description. For those curious, here you go. We're not looping songs, it's just that some songs play on both games, so it's technically played a second time on a different game. Your intro started almost exactly 1 hour into the stream for the YouTube segment thingy. Did I? Well, I didn't ask for that information, but thank you. That actually is still helpful information. I appreciate that. So, yeah, that was a good picture. I think I'll wrap this up into my art folder, like my proper I'm finished with this art folder, and yeah.